myself plugged in? How do I get myself plugged in having more real estate conversations where I want to go? I mean, I just got off to a coaching call with Mark today, and I was talking about how to stack your time, how to stack your time and make your time more and more valuable. And I was posing the idea of Mark of saying, instead of being at home doing your calls, go out and get a vacant open house and go do all your calls in an open house. Kim, come on, you know what I'm talking about, Kim. This is how we lived. And we would do 5-hour open houses, and I would do a folding table. I would do a tablecloth, a scanner, a map on the wall, and we would just be there working. I would have clients meet me there just so we can write an offer. So I would because I want to stack my time. I wanted to have an open house ready to go. I want to do my calls there. I want to do my follow-up there. I wanted clients to meet me there. That was one way. So when you're out and about, get yourself dressed for success. So somebody looks at my Rolex and says, man, that's a nice watch. And I'm like, hey, great. It was a gift I got for myself because I had a great year in real estate. Oh, really? Okay. You're in real estate. So then what's the next question, John? How's the market? Right? How's the market? Right? And then, hey, so and that's what I do, man. That's a night. I like those. Man, where are you going? What do you mean? You look nice. Yeah, I'm in real estate. How's the market? So I'm always trying to figure out ways to set myself up to start those conversations because I want to leverage my time. If I'm at the tire center, if I'm here, I'm there. Lately, what I've been doing is I'll put my business cards in my phone and I'll set my phone on the counter and it says real estate right on it. I'm getting a new computer bag and I'm going to have some branded computer bag. I'm going to start branding a lot of my stuff because I want to figure out how can I stack and leverage my time when I'm getting my other stuff done and having my conversations because I have mastered the 3 most important conversations. How's the real estate market? Is it the right time to buy? Is it the right time to sell? I mastered those 3 conversations right now. I have them mastered. Now, if you don't master those and you don't know how, and we've talked about this, guys, and I say that because that's the best lead gen is where you're starting these conversations and you get to realize that you never know when you're going to win or how big you're going to win. You never know. You never know on how you're going to do it. So that's one thing is figure out ways that you know how to start the conversations. What are you doing right now that is going to make sure that those conversations are happening? Are you wearing branded shirts? Are you wearing a name tag? What are you doing to make it happen? You could totally add an additional 50 contacts a month just walking around. Just walking around. And you know what I mean? And you're not cold calling. You're not cold calling. Kim, get some cool little pink, flowery real estate content shirts, whatever. Slap a magnet on your car. Well, that's just corny, Joey. Okay, cool. You can call me corny when I'm cashing my check at the bank. You can call me corny. I got 2 commission checks coming in and I'm running a team. I am leveraging. I'm going to stack my time even more, right? So what can you do to add another 50 conversations? Well, that's just absurd, Joey. No, it's not. No, it's not. I went to my baseball coaching. I got a listing coming up in Alberta. It's like a 5-acre parcel. I was at the party. I sat outside under the tree. I had the circle. You swear it was my house. This is a really nice house you have here, John. Yeah, we're kind of tired of it. Why are you tired of it? Oh, we got developers coming all around it. Now I got an audience. I got a real estate meeting in the middle of a baseball camp. And I'm talking about real estate with people. And things are happening, Because that's how I'm wired. Does that make sense? That's how I'm wired. Yeah. I don't like to say, there's only so many times I can be sitting down talking about the ball game, talking about what's happening with Trump in office and all this other stuff that I'm just wasting time. But I'm figuring out ways to pick up more deals and pick up more conversations. Kim, John, I want to tell you guys something. I was just telling this to Mark. I hired Alex Dyer. I gave him $2,500 to sit with me an hour a day for a whole month. You know why? He is forcing me to masterfully work on my database. Masterfully. Literally. I wrote him a check for $2,500. You know why? Because I'm not going to do it. I will not do it, John. I would rather pull my nails off with a pair of freaking pliers than sit down and work on my database every day for an hour. I'm not going to do it. So guess what? $2,500. You damn right I'm going to do it. You are damn right I'm going to do it. And I was telling Mark earlier, you guys got to be willing to manipulate yourself to make it happen. Hold yourself accountable. You don't think my wife's like saying, so how's it going with Alex? You gave him $2,500. How's it going? So I hope this is speaking to you guys, because this is going to force you to get to another level. My son today was telling me about baseball. I'm like, hey, bud, I want to hire a coach for you. And he goes, I said, what do you want to work on? He goes, well, I don't know, Dad. I'm not really, fielding, I'm not really struggling on anything. I said, let me ask you a question. Why are you measuring your progress or need for progress based on struggle? Why are you doing that?
Oh.
He goes, what do you mean? I said, you don't only need a coach because you're struggling. You need a coach to take yourself to the next level. Stop looking for places you're struggling and look for places you want to get better. I just said this to him, right?
Yeah.
God bless my son. He's 14. He's like, dude, can I just be a 14-year-old? I said, I don't know how to raise a 14. Sorry, I don't know how to do that. I was absent that day. So I'm sitting there going, I'm like, so what I'm trying to say is, like, I'm gonna hire a coach for him, which is my uncle's nephew, right? And I'm probably going to give him a couple $100 and have my son go see him, you know what I mean, and spend some time there. And we're going to work on him being more masterful about his like fielding. But my son's perception was, I got to look for a place that I'm struggling, Daddy. You know what I mean? So stop looking for a place that you're struggling and figure out a place. And his practice got canceled right before Mark and I's call today. And I'm like, what are you going to do with your time? So he's outside right now doing some tea work. He's doing some tea work, and I'm working on getting he doesn't know this, but I'm working on getting a professional ball player. I'm not going to bring up his name because I got two options. I'm trying to get a professional ball player to spend one day with him. I want to blow his mind. I want to grab him and I want to stretch him like Gumby. All of us are old enough on this call to know who Gumby is. I want to stretch him. I want to stretch my son to the freaking limits. I want to change his paradigm. I want to change like how he thinks about himself and his craft. You and I need to be doing that. When I hired Les Brown to do a training event in Lake Tahoe, I got to spend time with 3 hours with Les personally, getting ready for the event, setting up that time. I had time to spend time with what's her name, Grant Cardone's wife, Elena Cardone. We had a chance to break meal with her and spend some time. We invested in her team. It blew our mind. Why am I saying this, guys? It's time for you to not look at places of struggle, but look at places where you can just get better. Stack your time better. Figure out ways that you can set yourself up. Set yourself up. Does that make sense what I'm saying, guys? I mean, Kim, you now have you're selling like a high-end property in the Bay Area. Why not leverage the heck out of that and refer your buyers out? Leverage the heck out of that, Kim. Go spend a weekend over there to do all your inspections and knock every door around the area. My name is Kim Carlson. I run a statewide real estate group here in California. And I'm actually right now I've been hired by a family to sell some of their properties out here in the Bay Area, and I'm getting tons of buyers. So I'm just curious, have you ever thought about selling your home before this window of opportunity changes in the market right now? Leverage the time, leverage it.
That was so good. Can you say that again? Can you say that again? I'm a statewide. Can you say it again?
Just make something up, man. Make something up.
It sounded too good.
I never said that before, 23 years. But guys, you guys see what I'm trying to tell you? You see what I'm trying to tell you? Stack your time. Make your time so valuable. Kim, you make thousands of dollars an hour, Kim. You make thousands of dollars an hour. The reason why sometimes you feel like you make minimum wage is because you're doing things you have no business doing. But if you realize how much money you can make, I make thousands of dollars an hour. So figure out ways that you guys can stack your time and how you can raise that level of time to a whole nother level. John, did you get a call from me yesterday? You got a text message with me about the event tomorrow?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I got 9 people coming. I got 4 guests coming, 5 of my agents coming. I'm going to pound the phones again because I'm going to love on the agents. Why I'm going to love on John? Because I love on John. I want to be in business with John. I care for him. I want to help him as much as I can. John knows that. I told him I'm not letting him go. You know, he tried to break up with me. I said, it's not going to happen. I'm going to stalk you. I'm going to stalk you like an insane ex. I'm going to stalk you, John. It's okay. I love him. I love him. I love him first because he's a child of God and he's my brother in Christ. And I want to see him succeed, right? So I got a guy out of the Bay Area that's coming to the event. You know, it's my open house. I got 9 people coming tomorrow, John. You got one of the seats. But I'm leveraging the time. I want you guys to start thinking that way. When I talk to Brent Gove, I know I got about 5 minutes with him. I know I got about 5 minutes with him. Because he usually only gives me about 5. Unless because he needs to free up the next 5 for the next person. Brent doesn't screw around. Brent does not mess around. If I have an appointment with Brent, Brent will be 3 minutes late to my appointment because he's overlapping on another appointment. When I go to an event and I want Brent's time, true story, I will be sitting down with an agent and his wife, and Brent has another table on the other end of the restaurant with another agent, with another guest. And he's telling me they have a few more minutes. And then he's walking over to the other table on the other side of the restaurant for another meeting. So I'm teaching you stuff that Brent Gove does and Gene Frederick. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Look at how you're spending your time and how can you raise that to a whole nother level? How can you raise it to a whole nother level? Is this helping you guys at all?
Absolutely.
Stack your time. How can you stack it where it becomes more and more valuable? Hi, my name is Kim Carlson. I'm a statewide real estate agent here, and I was hired by a family to come out to San Mateo to sell a property. And I'm telling you, I had about 45 offers that came in on this property, and so I have 44 unhappy buyers right now. And they have employed me to find them another property, Mark. So I'm just wondering, have you thought about taking advantage of this market before this window of opportunity changes? What the hell does that mean? What do you mean, Joey? Well, right now, I don't know if you know, we are shifting into a buyer market. So the conversation is no more about how to make top dollar. The conversation is about keeping as much money as I can from the home. Well, then why would I want to sell? That's a great question. I'm glad that you asked. John, are you familiar with the term that you make real estate when you buy, not when you sell? Have you ever heard of that?
Oh, yeah.
Say no, John, because buyers are going to say no. Yeah. So what that means, John, is when we start shifting into a buyer's market, that's when your opportunity comes into play. Does that make sense? You get to buy low. You make your money when you buy a property, Mark. I mean, you as a homeowner, now that I'm talking to you, that you want to learn how to invest, right? You're going to make, so really right now, Mark, it's about you getting your finances in order. We get you positioned. I'm going to learn a little bit more about what you're looking for, Mark, and then I'm going to go to work. I'm going to talk to John and Kim and Tony and Mark. I'm going to find a property for you, Mark. But you make your money in real estate when you buy, not when you sell.
Yeah.
Right. So I spun it. I didn't tell them that a buyer's market was a bad market. I didn't tell them that. You made a freaking killing. You live in San Mateo. You bought this house for like $60,000. It's worth like $100 million, right? He's gonna make so much money. There's so much old money there, Kim. There's so much ridiculously old money there, Kim. Ridiculously old money. Well, how the hell am I going to do that, Joey? I'm going to get taxed. I would love to do that. But I spent $60,000 on this property and it's worth $4 million. How the hell am I going to get out that? You know what, John? I'm so glad you brought that up. Here's what clients like you have found useful in the past is I sit down for about 30 minutes, John, and I share with you a step-by-step approach on how for you to defer some of that tax gain.
Hmm.
Do I got you thinking?
Yes. My head,
Right?
like,
So you know what? Yes, you did it.
hmm.
I didn't tell you to tilt your head, but you did. So
Hmm.
here's what you do. Here's what you do. You do a home equity loan and you take some money out of your property. Go buy the home where you're going. Go buy a home where you want to live. Turn this house into a rental for 2 years. Turn this house into a rental for 2 years because you're going to establish residency in your new home in 2 years. Yes?
Okay.
Okay. And then after that, we'll sell this home in 2 years and we'll 1031 all the money into an investment property. You pay no taxes and you get to live off of the income from the investment property, John.
Hmm.
That's just one of my secrets, John. Not bad for a first date. So let's do this, John. Let's get some time on the calendar. Let me figure out where you want to move to, and let's see whether or not selling is the right thing for you. I'm just going to stop there for a minute because I've been talking a lot. Kim is her head is spinning right now.
Mine too. You had me at the word struggle.
Yes.
Can I stop? Can we talk for a minute? Does this help at all? I mean,
Yes.
I'm really prayed up right now. So anything I can help? Is this helping at all?
Yes.
Can we just stop for a minute? Let's just digest what we had, and then
Yes.
we'll go into some needs and wants.
Okay.
So I'd love for you to repeat the tax strategy that you just mentioned with the rental for 2 years, move into the new property, sell the place to then go into some type of investment property.
Okay, so here's what you want to do. You don't want to call it tax strategy. You can
Right.
call it with me a tax. You can call with me a tax strategy. Okay, but don't tell to anybody else. Tell them it's a strategy and tell them just come up with a fun way of a disclaimer.
Yep.
But let me pause for a minute. Mark Richardson, my name is Joseph Satariano. I'm a real estate agent. Please don't hold any of my tax advice. Please consult just make it funny. Make it funny and exciting. But basically what I'm doing, Mark, is I'm telling them to take money out of their residence, their primary, because they have such a huge gain. Anything more than $250,000 of gain is going to make you held accountable for your getting hit with capital gains, right? So what I'm telling them is take some money out of this residence, go buy where they want to go, right? It's gonna go buy the home where they want to live in that new home as a primary for 2 years, which turns this one into an investment. Yes.
Yep.
Then sell this one in 2 years into an apartment building, right? Into into an apartment building because now it's an investment, right? It's a rental. So they're gonna have to find a tenant in there. If they don't want a tenant, shit, have them lease it to their son. Put a lease agreement in place where their son's paying rent,
Okay.
right? Turn it into an investment property. Now they don't get tax capital gains, but please consult your accountant for it.
Yep.
I've been
Okay.
doing this for a long time. I had a guy by the name of Eric Anderson. I sold a piece of property, Sheldon Woods. It's a multi-million. You know where that's at, Kim? Sheldon Woods. He worked in the laundry in the Hilton in San Francisco, and I sold him a piece of property out there, and he had a property in Fremont about $1.5 million. I said, Eric, your life is in that property, man. That's amazing. So he's a low income earner. Yes, low income earner, but he most of his net worth came in just accumulating. So I had to help him. John, I just helped that dude save 300 grand.
Wow.
300 grand. Gary Keller told me this years ago. I was in a mastermind with him. He says, the problem with you guys? He goes, you guys are hypocrites. He goes, what the hell? What the hell? We hypocrites. He goes, because you guys walk into an attorney's office, you walk into a doctor's office, you walk into an accountant's office, and you expect them to know their craft, to master their craft, and you haven't taken time to master yours.
Mm.
Whoa. Whoa. You want to talk about conviction? You want to talk about conviction? You know how many times I've said that in front of a room? So we got to stop playing, guys. Because if we don't stop playing, then that's what then we're not going to grow anything big. Nobody's going to follow us. We're not going to have anybody following us. Nobody's willing to pay for average. You guys understand that? Nobody wants to pay for average. If you're not getting commissions you want, it's because you're appearing as average. Not because you're average. I didn't say you were average. But if you're not getting your commissions, it's because you're appearing as average. If your conversion is low, it's because you're appearing as average. If your conversion is not where it needs to be, then do something about it. Get your tea. Go outside. Hit some balls every morning. Do whatever it is that you need to do every morning. Get with each other. Get on Zooms. Practice your craft. I value those 10 properties in downtown. Guys, I'm telling you, I've been doing this for 23 years. And I have never done this. I have a full-on report with tabs and everything for 9 properties. I have a cover sheet for every one of my properties. Let me show you guys this. I have a cover sheet. I had never done this. Man, I'll tell you, I can sit in front of an investment group right now and blow their freaking mind right now. Look at that. I've never done this before. It literally has the address, the monthly rents, the total rents, the gross yield, the cap rate, and a suggested price on the income approach. All there. When I sat there in front of the seller, you guys would have laughed. I was so intimidated before I got in that room. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I was intimidated because I was gonna have some guys from Colliers International in that room, and I thought I was gonna look like a Yahoo, that I didn't know what I was doing. And God is my witness. When he was done with my presentation, I said, "That's all you got?" In my mind, I'm like, "That's all you got?" Literally, I've been nervous with butterflies in my gut for that presentation. I was surprised. This guy sells like $5 and $10 million deals, and that wasn't a sexy presentation at all, right? But guess what? He thinks that's where it is. I said, "Fred, thank you so much for having me out. And let me jump in a little bit to your investment properties." But Frank, before, you know what it said on the top of the guy's presentation folder? It said, "Commercial opinion of value." That was the wrong thing for his thing. Here it was. So Fred, in the next 15 to 20 minutes, I'm going to share with you a market report I made on every one of your properties. You are going to have a clear idea what buyers are going to consider. But before I get started, Fred, I want you to understand that none of this that I'm going through the next 15 to 20 minutes has anything to do with my opinion. Because just so you know, my opinion does not matter when it comes to valuing your property. What matters is us getting together and seeing the decisions and the behaviors the buyers are making in this market right now. Boom, I laid it all out. Page number 1. So based on the facts that you gave me, Fred, these are all the income that this property is this correct? Yeah. And these are the bedrooms and baths. So because of that, I mean, really buyers right now in the downtown area, because of the problems with tenancy they're having, this is what they're going after. And I showed them, here it is. And I showed them the income. I said, I added the income here. I divided by this. I divided by that. And that's the value. So Fred, right now, investors are looking for their return. And they're looking for about a 7.36 gross return right now. And their cap rate is about 5.26 to 5.36. And I went one after one. The commercial agents started leaning over, looking at my binder. What he doesn't know is there's about 60 hours in this binder. 60. Because I valued them all doing the sales approach, every one of them. And then I'm like, this shit isn't going to work. It's not going to work. And I revalued all of them in the income approach. You know, and I'm like, Lord, why are you having me do this? Well, what's this about? And then I'm like, well, maybe he's having me do it because he wants to expand my territory. Maybe he wants me to start working with portfolio people. Maybe he wants me to start doing these other things. Because you know what I love about this? Is there's no emotion in this, Mark. You want to work with investors, Mark. There's no emotion here. This is all about numbers. They're not complaining. They're not, there's all numbers. There's all numbers here, right? You have to do something, as John Maxwell said when we went to the Kim was there. We had John Maxwell there, at a little mastermind. And John said, you got to get yourself out of the people pile. Mr. John McKay, you got to get yourself out of the people pile. John, when you're walking around in your suits and all dressed up, you're out of the people pile. People look at you differently, right? So you guys got to decide where in your business right now that you want to upgrade. Where do you want to upgrade? Where is it that you want to upgrade your business? Where is it you want to take where you're at and like take it to a whole nother level? You know, Kim, I'm going to Sienna's tonight to go
Where?
meet with Wendy Goss. If you want to come out and see Wendy Goss, you can this evening. I think you need to connect with Wendy Goss from the training event tomorrow. You need to connect with her. I want to see you raise your sales price. And I think you and Wendy have a lot. Yeah.
What time are you meeting with her?
About 5:30. Okay.
I'm showing her home at 5:30. Where are you guys meeting at?
Oh, well, you don't worry about that. You'll see her tomorrow. You'll see her tomorrow at the event.
Yeah.
But I think you should connect with Wendy Goss. Guys, listen. You have people all over the country. Just pick somebody. Tell them you want to fly and go shadow them for the day. I am going to talk to a professional ball player and ask him to coach my son. And I already know, you know, I'm not going to say the name, but it's somebody that all of you know that follow baseball. And I'm going to ask him to coach him for the day. And I'm going to see how much he wants for it. And I know he's a believer. And since all of you are believers, I can say that. So, and I wasn't really like consciously thinking about it, but I thought that'd be kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
I want you guys to get out of your comfort zone, man. I want you guys to get out of your comfort zone. Your opportunity is right now. Agents are dying on the vine right now because they're trying to do the same things they were doing all the time. Trying to do the same things that are doing all the time. How well are you at helping people overcome the inner conflict in their mind of whether right now is the right time to buy or sell? That is the biggest question right now. People are terrified out of their freaking mind.
Yeah.
True story. Guy has 90 acres. Okay. I want to buy this property for my family. Okay. It's a historical property. I'm not telling you the address because I still want to buy it. Right. So true story. I called the agent. I said, hey, would your seller be interested in carrying a loan? I didn't, and she goes, no. I said, well, you realize it's 90 acres and it's going to be really hard to find financing on 90 acres. Why do I know that? Because I know land. And she goes, yeah. And then she begins to proceed to tell me how it doesn't even have a recordable easement. There's no recordable easement on the pre-lit. So she gave me more ammunition to negotiate yes or no.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, right? So I'm talking to her and I'm like, I really want to buy this. Property's got like a private lake on it. I mean, it's got like stream frontage, and I'm like, this would be great. We could buy it. You know what I mean? And Sophie and I can, and maybe instead of buying a new primary, maybe we put like a nice modular. We do a beautiful modular on there. Maybe we turn it into an Airbnb right on the water. It's a stocked pond. And I'm thinking, how can I take my dollar and like make it more valuable? Like maybe just do this amazing piece on it. Well, she proceeds to tell me how he doesn't want to finance, right? So I said, look, she goes, well, how much money you want to put down? I said, I don't know. I can put 20% down. I mean, I like to put 10. And then she proceeds to tell me how he doesn't want to carry. And then she tells me all this problem with easements and stuff. And I'm like scratching my head. That seller has no idea that he has the wrong agent. He has the wrong agent. She's a freaking order taker. She's an order taker. Well, he wants his money out. He's old. Okay, well, guess what? You're going to get old. I'm going to get old. My dad's old. You know, what was the guy, Colonel Sanders, when he started at KFC, he was old. We're all going to get old. We're all going to die. But what are you going to do for that old man? Because right now you're doing nothing for him. You're listing his property and you're going to sell nothing for him because you don't have the nerve to put him in his place and tell him he's going about it the wrong freaking way. You have to be willing to confront your sellers and buyers in this market right now and tell them they're going about it the wrong way. So I'm going to spend the next few minutes and I want to do some price reduction conversations. Kim, John, Mark, I want you guys to go in there, and Tony, I just want you to observe. So she should go to this seller and say, look, I got an agent who's a buyer that wants to buy this property. He is telling me up and down that it's not financeable. And I told him that you want cash. And he told me that anybody's going to buy a property that doesn't have a recorded easement with cash, you might as well just give it to him for $2 and a cup of coffee. Right? How much are you going to buy a property if you know you're risking the chance of not having access to it? Right?
Right.
They're not doing any service to this guy. If you buy it from a neighbor, the neighbor knows you have a problem, especially the dude that you're using his road to get on the property. So she's not going about it the right way. So I'm keeping that property on my radar, because when that expires, I might just buy it directly from him, or I might sell it for him. But she doesn't have the nerve or the tenacity to let him know about it. These are deals that are there. That's malpractice. Yes? Is that malpractice?
Yeah.
She needs to be willing to confront him and say, how bad do you want to sell it? You are getting up in age. You are getting up in age. How long do you want this property in the market before you sell it? You know what I'm not telling you? Is this 100-acre parcel? They're asking $350 for it with a private pond and a stream on it. Is that amazing or what? $350,000. Yes. Yes. I'm not telling you anymore, John. I want to buy it.
Oh,
Stop
okay.
asking questions. But guys, I see this all over the place. I see it all over the place. And what's going to separate you from your people pile, guys, is when you decide that you want to upgrade. Kim, get connected with Wendy Goss. Fly out to Vegas. Go spend the day with her. Go shadow her around a little bit, Kim. And then bring all those techniques to California. Bring all those techniques. Kim, you have every makeup in your body to be a luxury agent, Kim. And that doesn't have to be all of your business, Kim. What if you just decided to focus on 20% of your business for this next year? Maybe out of 30 deals, maybe 6 of them are high end and 24 of them are lower end. Would that change your life, Kim?
Yep.
Would it?
Yeah.
Okay, so if Kim, you're really good with high-end properties. You're really good behind the camera, Kim. You're really good behind the camera. So get on the horn with Wendy and go to the lunch and learn tomorrow afterwards and book some time with her. And say, Kim, can I fly out to Vegas and shadow you guys? Can I shadow you for the day? Kim, you know what, Wendy, I want to raise my sales price. Mark Richardson, get connected. Get connected with Pace Morby. He's an investment genius. Get connected with him. Go ask him if you can shadow him.
I'm part of the sub too now.
What's that?
I'm part of his community.
Well, good. Get in front of him.
Yep.
Shine a juice for him for a little while. I would.
Yep.
That's not what I want to do. I don't want to do that. Otherwise, I would do it.
Can I share one thing with everybody?
Yes.
For tax strategies, you could also connect with Rondi Lambeth. He's worked with thousands of clients, saving them tens of millions of dollars after they've, gone to see their CPA, and then he'll put actually a full strategy there for you to help reduce your taxation. And I'll put it in the chat also if that's okay.
Love it. Love it. Thank you so much for that, Mark. Okay. I have a inner circle call in 20 minutes. So I'm going to give 15 minutes. No, actually, I'm going to do 10 minutes of role play. And then I'm going to go help my son get a few of this equipment set up before my 10 o'clock call with my inner circle. Okay. So Kim, you want to ask me for a price reduction. And I'm putting you on the spot, Kim, because I care about you. Okay. Here's a scenario, Kim. I've been on the market 45 days. You've asked me 2 times to reduce my price and I won't reduce it. and you needed to come down a minimum of 50,000. Okay. I've been on the market 49 days. Okay. Boom. I'm gonna say hello, and you can be in front of me or on a call. Okay, and then you just go. Okay, you ready?
Yep,
Ready, Kim? Because
yep.
I'm calling you asking you for something. And you're gonna spin it on me and ask me for something, right?
Okay.
Hey Kim, you know what? I'm really unhappy right now. My property's been on the market for 49 days and I haven't sold it.
Yeah, Joey, I am so watching the market right now and everything going on. And when we originally talked a month and a half ago, things were moving a little bit faster, but the market has slowed down a bit. And are you aware that there's 45 properties in Elk Grove around the same price point as yours that are a little bit larger?
Yeah, but they're not as nice as mine, right, Kim?
Your home is beautiful, Joey. There's so much detail to it. There's so many perks of your home. But right now in this market, if we are not priced correctly, things are sitting. So for a couple other agents, for a couple other clients, what I've currently had to do was we had to do a price reduction, which then we were able to attract multiple buyers, and it actually went a little bit higher than the price reduction. So I know that you do not want to drop the price, that you're really looking at the net amount you're making. But in this market, if you want me to get it sold, we have to do a price reduction.
How do you feel about that, Kim?
It's a little pushy, a little bit. I think I should have given a little bit more information.
Okay.
Yeah, what did you think?
I think it was good. Any other I'll give you my feedback in a minute. John, any other feedback?
I think it was good. I had to go through the same thing with my buyers, and we came down to doing a price reduction every week.
Okay. So here's what I want you to do, John. I want you to do the same scenario, and I want you to ask me for a price reduction. Okay. Before I give any feedback, because I want you guys to see all the different styles. So do a price reduction with me. Same scenario as Kim. Hey, John, I'm really unhappy right now. I mean, this property's been on the market 49 days, and we're not getting it sold. What are you going to do about it, John?
Well, there's four reasons why a property will not sell. It's going to either be the price, location, marketing, or um, something else. I don't remember. But anyways, we can't change the location. We can't change the condition as a condition. So we can actually do something by changing the price. If we change the price and make it more comparable to others in the area, we can get more buyers in and checking out your property. So let's go ahead and look at these comparables and let's make the price right.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I didn't have my four um, um, things that um, sell the property. So I need it in front of me to look at.
Okay. So, Mark, you want to stab at a price reduction, or do you want to just listen?
You know what I mean?
Oh, I'll run it.
Perfect. Let's go. So, hey, Mark, we've been on the market 49 days, and there's no buyer here. And what are you going to do about this, Mark?
Hey, Joseph. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. I'm glad that you recognize that. Now, when you hired me and when I hired you, I wanted to make sure that we were on the same page, that our goal was to sell your house for top dollar, correct?
Yes.
Do you recall that when we were discussing pricing options, that I'll bring you data of kind of what the buyers are doing and what they're looking at right now? And that our range was this to that? And it's your house, totally your house, your decision. My job is to represent you. You felt otherwise and wanted to go higher. Currently, that's the main reason that we're doing that. Is because I'm getting great feedback. They absolutely love your house. It's beautiful and it's stunning. But there's one common thread. Can you tell me what that is?
I don't know.
My friend, unfortunately, it's the price. So we came in too high for what the market is doing right now. And if you want me to help you get to your goal, is that something that you still want?
It is.
We will need to adjust to meet the buyers where they are. Is that something that you're willing to do?
How much do you want me to lower it?
So we'll probably need to do a big reduction and it's going to sting. I want to be upfront with you, okay? If we are able to do that reduction, more than likely, we'll start to see more traffic and hopefully get you to your destination. And that's my goal. So we'd probably be looking at about a $25,000 reduction. I know.
Got it. Love it. Great job, Mark. Great job. Okay. Mark, you were close. You were really close. Actually, you were the closest out of the three of you
You were
because you
excellent.
started. You were the closest. You were really good. I love what you did. You did not take ownership of my problem. You made me keep my problem. You did not take any ownership of the problem. You made me keep it. You made me understand the reason why we're in this situation is I didn't listen to you. That's what I heard. Did you guys hear the same thing?
Yeah.
Okay. So, but the most important thing you guys got to understand is exactly what Mark said. You have to remind them why you're here to begin with. You have to remind them why you're here to begin with, what you're doing this for. You're doing it to move to San Diego to be next to the granddaughter. You're doing it because the house is too big right now and you need something smaller and it's hard on your wife to keep the house clean. You're doing it right now because you want to move to Tennessee or you want to move here, or you want to move there. Remind them of that. Okay. Do not use the word price reduction. Use the word price correction. Call it price correction. Okay. Also, you want to do is what we want to do is we want to do a price correction and re-expose your home to the market. Re-expose your home to the market. Re-expose your home to the market. Very important. Here's what we need to do. We've been on, I understand you're frustrated with me, Kim. It's been 49 days. And I told you when we sat down to begin with that none of this has anything to do with my opinion. We went by the facts. You chose to list a little bit higher, yes?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So now the buyers have given us their opinion. And at the end of the day, we're the highest bidder on the property right now. So the last time, I'm so glad that you called me today because I looked at it and right now we're priced at $749. There were 973 online visits on the property. 973 people saw your property online. We've had 6 open houses and combined we're at about 1,150 visits online and in person. And we haven't gotten one taker yet. Since we've been on the market, Kim, there's been 7 properties that have went under contract. So that means 7 buyers have chosen these homes over ours.
Wow.
Okay. So at least here's the good news. There's no bad news in this conversation, Kim. At least we have feedback. Feedback is the breakfast of champions, right? So what we're going to need to do now is we're going to need to look at this. We're going to need to look at it and reevaluate it. We're at 749. We actually need to be at 699. We need to be at 699 because I looked at all those properties that went pending, right? And they're substantially they're ranging from 675 to 7.25, and we're at 750. We need to go to 699. We need to be under that market. So here's what we like to do. Let's reposition your property at 699, Kim. I'm going to call back every agent that showed the property, let them know that we have done a price correction. Okay. I'm going to go into my marketing and I'm going to revamp my marketing campaign. It just sounds sexy. It just sounds like I got like this board of people in this high-rise building. And I'm like, we're going to revamp this marketing strategy and repackage it and re-expose it to the market, right? And we're gonna and then what I'm gonna do is after this price correction, I'm gonna initiate another open house this Saturday. And we're gonna re-expose it. Make sense? And then I'm gonna intentionally email this over to the brokerage community that I work hands-on. And I'm gonna get in front of more people because right now it's not Kim, it's not really about top dollar anymore. It's about whoever sells the property next is gonna get the most amount of money. Does that make sense? Because right now there are 40, you had said earlier, there are 45 homes on the market that we're competing with. So out of those 45, the ones that are selling are going to be the top 10% of the people that are the most motivated. But you know the challenge with that, Kim, is they're going to determine where the market's going. Tell me you don't know what you might tell me I don't know what you mean.
What do you mean?
It means you got 45 people on the market in our price range. Those top 10% are willing to price their properties more aggressively. When they sell, they become our new comparables. So the ones that are left over, those properties are now going to be using those comps to sell the property.
Hmm.
Does that make sense? So we basically in the next 30 days, we need every buyer that's willing to buy between 650 and 750. They need to walk through your home before they make a decision. That's it, period. Kim, I'm on the same team as you. I'm on your team. And I know how bad you want to get this done. And I know this hurts, but I want you to know that there's no bad news. It's just news. You still want to sell your property, right?
Yep.
So let's do the right thing. Let's move it to 699. And what I'm going to need you to do is everybody who shows their property, just like we were doing before, I want you to send me over a copy of their business card or their information so I can follow up with them. And then I'm going to call back all of our showings and let them know. And I'm going to notify the brokerage community about our price correction. And let's get this thing sold before the next one sells. How did that feel?
Like you were educating me and that you were your deliverance was compassionate and like that you were on the same team.
Okay. And that's important, guys. You got to remind them you're on their team, Mark, John, Tony. You got to remind them I'm on your team. You have to remind them. If you don't remind them, it's like you're pulling this way and they're pulling the other way, and you're doing this, and nobody's winning. This, when they feel like they're playing tug of war, when I'm pulling with you, Mark, and you're pulling the other way, we're talking about win-lose, win-lose, win-lose. And then you feel like you're losing, Mark. And if I don't remind you that you're not losing, if I don't remind you, you're like, who does this punk think he is? Who does this guy think he is? You want me to cut my price? Well, you cut your commission. No. Mark, we're on the same team. I want to sell this as bad as you do. And you conveyed that, Mark. You conveyed that you were on my team, but you also did not take ownership of why it was happening because it was me that didn't trust your pricing to begin with. And that's why it's so important. It's so important. If you're not happy with your price reduction conversations, stop pricing them that way. If you're not happy with your price reduction conversations, your presentation needs to change. Your presentation needs to change, Kim. That means you're going to have to go back, all the way back, Kim, to your presentation and say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, before I go over this, I just want you to know that my opinion is not here. What's here right now, it's what's going on in the market. And it's up to you and I to put our heads together to find out what buyers are choosing to buy and what prices they're choosing to buy at. Does that make sense, Kim? And our
Mhm.
goal, Kim, is to make sure that every buyer in the next 30 days, in the next 2 weeks, the first initial 2 weeks that you're on your market, is going to walk through your home before they make a decision, Kim. Because if we have every buyer, Kim, between 650 and 750 walking through your home in the next 14 days, we are going to sell. But if they're saying no on the phone or on the computer because of our pricing, because of our exposure, we're not going to win. We're not going to win. I just told this to a guy in Florida. I just sold him a property and sold his daughter a property. His property's not selling. I'm like, Ron, you need to do something, man. He goes, what do you mean? I said, you got a cash offer, you should reevaluate it because this market is turning, Mark. This market is turning. Best thing for you to do is get that. He moved here. Get your money out of Florida, man. And let's get ready for some opportunity. It's coming. It's coming, Ron. It's good. Am I getting him excited? And am I helping him like be okay with letting go? Because there's so much more in front for him. Make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Is this helping, guys? Was this a good call?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent.
Okay, guys, I gotta run. I'll see you guys, with exception of you, Mark. I will see all you guys to see Whitney Goss. Unless you want to jump on a plane, Mark. Jump on a plane. I'll pick you up at the airport. You think I'm kidding? It starts at 10 a.m. tomorrow. You can book a plane, and I'll come get you to the airport.
I can't make tomorrow. A little more notice, and I'll try to be at the next one.
Love it.
Bye, guys. Have a great week.
Do the same.
Okay, guys. Talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.